Hello and welcome to the first edition of Aqua Squad. In this series, we're going to be showing how we do maintenance and also product testing on reef tanks. This is my 8-gallon nano reef. It's got 2 percola clowns and also it has just 2 power filters with an anemone and some green star polyps. Today we're going to be doing a water change. Since it's an 8-gallon, we're only going to be taking about a gallon, a little more than a gallon of water out. If you notice, the sand that's coming into the gallon is dirty sand that has some cyanobacteria on it. It's okay to pull up a little bit of sand, not too much. But you notice that the fish, they're comfortable with it and they're not stressed out. That's important because you don't want to stress your fish out. Notice there are peppermint shrimp under the rock. That's also another inhabitant of this tank, along with some snails and crabs. As we pull the water out, I'm using a small hose because it's such a small tank, you don't want to overwhelm it. And you want to make sure you get all the little things that are in there, all the detritus on the rocks, and there's some green hair algae that I got to take out. Best way to do that is by pulling it, yanking it out, and then scrubbing with a toothbrush, an old toothbrush. And as we fill it up, you have to keep an eye on not to fill too much on the water bucket to overflow it. And it's okay to leave the filters on as long as those intakes are below the water line. And there we go. Now we clean out the filter floss that's pretty dirty out of the power filters. Take those out and rinse them out with RODI water. But also, this is an experiment that I was doing, putting some chaetomorpha algae in the power filter. It didn't work out too good. It didn't really lower the nitrates, so I'm going to take it out. Not wasting it, I give it to my trusty assistant who will walk it over to my other 20-gallon nano tank to add to the refugium. Chaetomorpha is a macroalgae that helps with the reduction of nitrates and phosphates. In this case, it wasn't doing too much because it wasn't getting the proper lighting. And as he puts it in, notice he has nothing to cover the floor, which is a mistake. He's going to get yelled at by his mom because he's going to get water on the carpet. That's not a good deal. Now there is the DIY light that is 3-to-1 with a grow light for the chaetomorpha and the refugium. And just put that into the refugium. And voila, we're done. Now back to the 8-gallon. After the filter floss is clean, I'm just going to put the filter back in with a sponge filter at the bottom, and then pack it in with the clean filter floss. In both chambers, which helps with the trapping of detritus and all the dirt that is in the intake of the power filters. It's always good to replace it with some new stuff when you've done about 4 or 5 water changes. Also, you notice on this side, I have the activated carbon, which I will rotate just to get full water contact as it goes. Usually it lasts between 2 to 3 weeks, and then you change it out because it's lost all its effectiveness. There we go, just tuck it in there. Now it's time to fill the tank up. But first we have to check the salinity with a hydrometer. In this case I'm using the Instant Ocean. Not too expensive, but if you notice, the water I'm putting in is way high. It's 1 point almost 03, which is high in salinity. So what we'll do is check what's in the main tank, or in the 8-gallon, and you see it's at 1.04. So that's our target. Pour it back in, and we'll put in just some of this water into the tank. And the trick on this is try not to pour it too hard, because it's going to cause or kick up a lot of sand in your tank. So gently pour it, usually on top of a rock, and it'll disperse the water so you won't get all the floating debris. And that should be good. Now, very important to keep checking to see where you're at. Again, we'll check it, and okay, so now it's at 1.025. So it's a little salty, but we want to add a little bit more water because we're not up to the limit of where we want our tank at. So we add a little bit more salt water. That should be good. Now we're going to top it off with some RODI water, reverse osmosis. And we'll just top it off so it can be at the desired level, and check it again. So what do we have is perfection. 1.024. That's where it was. That's where we want it. So we're all good. So there you have it. A water change in an 8-gallon nano. Thank you very much. And on this series, we're going to be talking about other tanks and product reviews. Please hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.